Good evening, I'm Keisha Butts with the CTV News Update. A clinic mix-up leads to 70 children receiving expired COVID-19 vaccines. It happened on November 26 at the Sports and Learning Center Vaccine Clinic. Officials say the vaccines were mistakenly stored in a refrigeration unit with usable doses. The county has reached out to the families of the children. Prince George's health officials say there are no health risks to the children who received the expired vaccine.
The concern really is that with an expired vaccine, you probably have not gotten the appropriate dose that would allow you to have the most effective immune response to COVID. And what you want is to have the most effective immune response to COVID so that you can be protected. And the way to do that is to have the child be revaccinated.
The county has set up 2 clinics just for the 70 children. The location is the Cheverly Health Center Clinic this Sunday from 12 to 5 and Saturday, December 11th at the same time. No appointment is necessary. You can also go to the Sports and Learning Center without an appointment. Meantime, a popular farmers market is forced to close after employees and customers are seen not wearing masks. The health department shut down the Dutch Country Farmers Market in Laurel yesterday. The agency says it received several complaints from the community. Officials say the market will remain closed until it submits a plan ensuring customers and staff will adhere to the mask mandate. The department will also perform a follow-up inspection before it reopens. Here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for our area. The state health department has confirmed 1,700 cases since yesterday. The county's positivity rate is at 3.99%. 11 Marylanders have died of the disease since yesterday. 767 remain in the hospital. CASA is hosting a vigil and rally this evening, calling on the state legislature to override vetoes of immigration reform bills during the special session next week. Governor Larry Hogan vetoed 2 measures that the General Assembly passed last session. One is called the Dignity Not Detention Act, a bill to end private ICE detention in Maryland. The other is a Maryland Driver Privacy Act, a bill to prevent immigration authorities from abusing confidential information of immigrant drivers.
What Dignity Not Detention does is it ends private ICE detention in Maryland. It says that state and local government can no longer enter into contracts with ICE and that they must stop profiting off the incarceration of human beings in ICE detention. The bill also goes a step further and says that police officers cannot ask about citizenship. They cannot ask about immigration status. It is not their job. So the Driver Privacy Act is a bill that stops ICE from dipping into the MBA database by requiring ICE to have a warrant before doing so. It's such an important bill that is going to ensure that immigrant drivers have their private information protected.
The outdoor rally starts at 6 tonight on Lawyers Mall in Annapolis. The rally will be followed by a vigil. CASA says hundreds are expected for the event, including members who have been affected by the bills. The unemployment rate is down, but hiring slowed significantly last month. That's according to the U.S. Labor Department. Employers added 210,000 jobs in November compared to 546,000 in October. Yet the jobless rate fell to 4.2%, down from 4.6%.
Today's news means that unemployment rate has now fallen by more than 2 percentage points since I took office. That's the fastest decline in a single year on record. It's about 3 times faster than any other president in their first year in office. The number of people claiming unemployment has fallen from 18 million when I took office to 2 million this week, another record drop.
You're watching CTV News. I'm Keisha Butts. Coming up, a local youth football team is looking for your help. It's trying to get to Florida for a championship game, but it's short of money. Details ahead. We'll be back in just a moment.
Go Raptors!
Work, school, grocery shopping, doctor's appointments, the gym, to the airport to pick up loved ones, to the kids' soccer games, piano lessons, out for movie night, to hear your favorite band in the city, over to Grandma and Grandpa's house, and on last year's amazing road trip. Your vehicle takes you so many places. Protect it. When you leave your vehicle, remember to always take your keys or key fob with you and lock the doors. If you suspect auto theft, contact the National Insurance Crime Bureau at 1-800-TEL-NICB. That's 1-800-TEL-NICB, or visit our website at www.nicb.org. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Welcome back. A Bowie police officer has been found guilty of misconduct in office for firing his service weapon at a moving vehicle in 2018. The officer, who is still employed by the department, is Lieutenant Ernest Stanley. Stanley had just finished his shift in August 2018 and in uniform when he tried to pull over a vehicle. The officer asked the occupants to get out of the car, but they sped off. Stanley fired at the car from behind, striking it once. Prosecutors said that at the time of the shooting, the occupants did not pose an imminent threat of danger. The department will now conduct an internal affairs review. Stanley, who has been suspended with pay since his indictment a year ago, will be sentenced in March. When Maryland lawmakers meet next week for a special session, many of the COVID-19 protocols will no longer be in place. Those protective booths that surrounded senators last session have been removed, and annex used to house half of the House of Delegates has been closed. Masks will still be required, as will vaccinations or frequent testing. But now with the new Omicron variant, some are wondering if that's enough.
Last year, we had all our public hearings online. In our committee meetings, we were in our committee room, but we had plastic dividers and we wore masks. On the floor, we had these little telephone booths at each of our desks. Those have been taken away, as I understand it, because we've assumed that we won't need those for the special session. But they could be back. I mean, it depends what happens with the virus.
The public will be allowed to watch the session from the galleries next week, but admission will be limited to a fraction of the capacity, and masks will be required at all times. A Maryland Department of Health testing tent will be open from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. It will be located adjacent to the Taylor House office building. Meantime, witnesses wishing to testify during next week's special session have until 6 p.m. this evening to sign up. You will need to sign up for an account on the General Assembly's website to register. Meantime, racing and training activities have been suspended at Laurel Park following the deaths of 8 horses since October. Officials say the horses suffered fatal fractures while racing or training over a newly installed dirt surface at the facility. The Maryland Horsemen's Association and the Maryland Jockey Club are working with industry experts to analyze the surface. The most recent fatal injury occurred Sunday when a 2-year-old gelding suffered a fatal injury. The new surface was installed earlier this year and was used through the summer. No word on when activities will resume. You can help a Maryland football team get on the road to Miami for a National Youth Football Championship game. Meet the City Life Raptors, also known as Creddy Purge. The team of 9-year-olds from all over the state was selected to battle it out in the Elite Playoff Series. However, General Manager Marquis Jeter says the team needs your help. Jeter says they need about $10,000 to participate.
The journey we took is the journey less traveled. So what we trying to do is really impossible to do. But our kids deserve it. They work hard for it.
I think it's important because we want to take the trophy, take it back to the DMV. Last time we were down 2-0, so we got to come back with a championship now. I wanted to take the championship home last year, but we couldn't, and we lost. But this year I'm going to come back better and harder and win and take the #1 spot.
To donate, visit GoFundMe and search City Life Raptors National Championship Miami, Florida. And we'll be back with more news in a moment. Stay with us.
Why? Why take a chance? Why risk a mistake? Why say something? We all have reasons why we choose to ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right. The word why can either paralyze us or empower us to stand up and protect what we love. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my family.
I see safe for my friends.
I see say so that they are safe.
We see say for each other.
I see say because all of this matters.
We all have something worth protecting. A why that unifies this community we're all a part of. So protect your everyday. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
you for staying with us. Well, breaking sports news from the University of Maryland. Head basketball coach Mark Turgeon has resigned. According to the Baltimore Sun, Turgeon stepped down today in a mutual agreement with the university. Turgeon led the Terps program more than 10 years. Terps assistant Danny Manning will be the interim head coach for the rest of the season. Maryland began the season ranked number 21 in the nation. The Terps have a 5-3 record after losing to Virginia Tech on Wednesday. Meantime, with the holidays around the corner, a local nonprofit is hosting an event with kids in mind. The organization is called ROAR. Its 5th annual coat drive is now underway. This year, ROAR is teaming up with the sponsor, A Child Campaign. The organization is asking for donations and clothes and unwrapped toys for kids ages 3 to 13.
People are without jobs still. Income is very tight and is very hard, but children don't understand that. And do they have to? They should not have to understand that. So as a village, we need to pull together to make sure our children are okay. At least have something in the morning of Christmas Day to open, just to be a part of.
If you're interested in donating, email ROAR at tlsmithoutreach@gmail.com. Well, NASA is launching a new mission that will revolutionize how we communicate with future missions in space. The Laser Communications Relay demonstration is scheduled to launch from Kennedy Space Center in Florida on Sunday morning. It's tasked with using lasers to communicate in space and could change the way we communicate with crewed missions to the moon or Mars.
LCRD is kind of like upgrading from dial-up like we had in the 80s and 90s to high-speed internet. So NASA will use LCRD to send data down to Earth from an orbit about 22,000 miles away. And it's in an orbit called geosynchronous orbit. And we will send that data to 2 ground stations. One is in California and one is in Hawaii. And they're in remote locations on a mountaintop. And the reason why NASA has selected those locations is because of the relative clear weather conditions, usually cloudless skies in that area, and because clouds can disrupt data transmission. It will increase bandwidth 10 to 100 times more. And if you think about it in real terms, if we were to send a complete map of Mars to Earth using radio frequency communications, our current state of the art, it will take 9 weeks. If we use it with lasers, it will take 9 days. It will reduce that amount of data that can come in 9 days.
For more information on the mission or Sunday's early morning launch, log on to nasa.gov/laser communications. Well, as we reported yesterday, crime victim programs statewide are calling on the governor to use state funds to temporarily support their services. Here in Prince George's, the lack of funding could impact several essential services. They include the court-appointed Special Advocates Program and the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Center at the University of Maryland Capital Region Health.
It's over 120 organizations that receive this funding so they can help people. And we're going to be facing layoffs. We're going to be facing waiting lists. We're going to have to turn people away.
Jordan says she hasn't received a response from the governor's office. Let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 39. Saturday and Sunday, mostly sunny with the daytime temps ranging in the mid to lower 50s. Monday, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and a high near 67. And now for the community calendar, calling all Bowie residents. The city of Bowie is hosting its annual holiday festivities with a virtual twist. Residents can participate in the city's 40th annual Holiday House Decorating Contest, eat breakfast with Santa, and so much more. The city's traditional tree lighting ceremony takes place this Sunday, December 5th at the Veteran Park, starting at 7. For a full list of activities and times, visit cityofbowie.org/virtual holidays. And that wraps up our newscast. I'm Keisha Butts. Have a good evening.